Health services across the capital are gearing up for the longest strike in NHS history. From tomorrow, junior doctors will be walking out for 6 days in a dispute over pay. Thousands of planned operations and appointments will have to be rescheduled. Our health correspondent, Carl Mercer, has more.
So here, there's type 6 on the 25th, and then it's been type 5 or bowels not open.
There's still a little Christmas cheer here on the acute medical unit at Epsom General, and on the face of it, it seems like a normal day. But staff here, as they are at hospitals across London, are preparing for something the NHS has never seen before. A 6-day strike by junior doctors that starts tomorrow morning. This week is usually the busiest of the year, so it will be tough for patients and staff alike.
We are expecting unprecedented disruption actually, because it's going to be the longest strike, but we are prioritising all of our emergency care and urgent care. So we've made lots of plans with amazing colleagues, our consultants, our nurses, our physicians associates to come and support us in providing emergency care across the trusts.
The NHS has got used to planning for strikes, concentrating its efforts on emergency care, but the dispute is having a huge knock-on effect on planned operations. In the year since the junior doctors' strike began, nearly 340,000 appointments have had to be rescheduled. In the last strike alone in December, which lasted 3 days, more than 25,000 procedures had to be put off, and more than 4,500 junior doctors were on strike.
It's going to be difficult. This is the busiest week that the NHS experiences year on year. So we know this 6-day strike, junior doctor action, industrial action is going to be disruptive. But the NHS, unfortunately, is used to planning for industrial action now. We've had a year of it, so organisations across London know what they're doing.
There'll be a lot of people, won't there, for whom this is not the first time they've had appointments cancelled and procedures cancelled.
There's no denying that this is going to be disruptive to people's care, but we are prioritising those people who need their care most. So we are continuing to manage all of our trauma, neonatal care, intensive care, and then we are prioritising people who need urgent surgery, and your appointments will be rescheduled.
The NHS advises for people still to go to hospital or call 999 if they need emergency care, but to call 111 or try their local pharmacy if it's not an emergency in the coming week.
Well, Carl's here. Carl, it's always a challenging time of year, but it's set to get even harder the next few days.
Yeah, and what Harry and Sarah were talking about will not help either. Big storms like Storm Hank are going to make it even worse, because traditionally this is the busiest week of the NHS's year. Because people haven't been to their hospital over Christmas, they've delayed it, perhaps, so they all turn up in the first week of January. That's one of the issues. You've got winter is the second issue, and winters are normally quite bad, more flu, more COVID. And things like Storm Hank are going to mean more trips, more falls, more car crashes, more scaffold collapses. All of those sort of injuries are going to pile more pressure on. And a lot of these hospitals, like Epsom and St Helier, where we were today, something like 80% of their junior doctors will not be at work for a whole week. And they make up a huge amount of the workforce. So you can see the issues that all of these trusts are dealing with. And I think there is a lot of consternation in the NHS in London about how long this strike is going to go and what effect it will have.
And so is there any sign of a resolution on the horizon to this dispute?
No, not at all. The two sides as far apart as ever. The junior doctors saying we will not call off the strikes unless we get a decent offer from the government. The government saying we're not going to talk to you unless you call off the strikes. So the two sides as far apart as they've ever been, and no real sign that it's going to get any better anytime soon.
OK, well, as ever, thank you very much, Carl Mercer.